The stained glass windows at the Cathedral Church of St Philip in Birmingham are some of the most acclaimed stained glass works in the world. Installed over a 12-year period from 1885 to 1897, they depict scenes from the life of Christ, the Nativity, the Crucifixion, the Ascension, and the Last Judgment. The windows are the work of two internationally renowned artists, Edward Burne-Jones, who designed them, and his friend William Morris, whose workshop made them. Burne-Jones was an artist in the pre-Raphaelite movement and Birmingham born. As well as designing stained glass windows, he was also a prolific painter and illustrator.
Edward Burne-Jones had a career as a stained glass designer which lasted around 40 years, and this set of windows is really his great crowning achievement as a designer of stained glass. At the point he created this commission, he was in the last few years of his life, and he must have been aware when he was making the windows for this building that these are things that endure. If you make stained glass for a church, it can be there for centuries. I think he must have had a sense that these windows would be one of the most important parts of his legacy, and I'm sure there's a sense of that in how much of his heart and soul seems to go into them.
Protecting the windows can be challenging. In 1939, they were removed and hidden to keep them safe. Soon after, the cathedral itself was bombed and heavily damaged during the Blitz. More recently, a different threat to the windows was discovered. Investigation work revealed significant damage in a number of places. The build-up of dirt and grime, cracks in the glass, failed leading, and paint loss. The Divine Beauty Project, generously supported by players of the National Lottery via the National Lottery Heritage Fund, was launched to conserve these historic works, ensuring they are preserved and recognised for generations to come. Holywell Glass are a team of highly specialist and experienced conservators. They were selected to undertake this vital conservation work due to their expertise in working with stained glass, from medieval to modern. Both inside and out, years of dirt and grime had accumulated on the windows. A major part of the works involved removing the grime and cleaning each piece individually, without damaging the glass itself. Much of this cleaning work can be done on site, but some of the glass panels had to be removed and taken to Holywell's studio in Wells for further conservation.
I personally love cleaning because that's when you sort of get to see the glass emerge from behind the dirt, and you see the face shine or the paint lines come out and see the artist's original intention. The materials that they had at their disposal were some of the best glass that could be made at the time. We're cleaning these windows with a 50-50 solution of acetone and deionized water, and that allows us to clean off the dirt and the dust and the soot, but leaves the original paint in place. The original paint is kiln fired to the glass, so it's unaffected by the acetone.
This meticulous work required scaffolding to be built at both ends of the cathedral, and a street artist was commissioned to cover the hoardings with images from the windows. This helped to continue the windows' tradition of providing public-facing art for the people of Birmingham. Meanwhile, at the studio, further conservation and repair work took place. As well as cleaning, many panels required the replacement of the leading that holds the individual pieces of glass in place. Over time, this leading can distort and degrade, requiring the careful disassembly of the panels so it can be replaced.
The project's honestly been lovely to work on because you do get to see the techniques that were employed by the original artists and craftsmen, and they sort of reveal themselves as you work on them and spend more time looking at them. Commonly in arts and crafts stained glass, the makers would use double plating to really enrich the colours. So you actually layer in two colours to give a much richer effect. Normally those plates are exactly the same size, one over the other, but here we had pieces of glass quite small overlaid with a piece of glass that covered two or three. And we've got that on a lot of the faces and halos of figures. We think some of the double plating was done at the time the windows were made, but some is definitely added later. So the artist or the architect perhaps looked up and thought that needs a little tweak and adjust in the colour. You do get to glimpse into the mind's eye of the original craftsman who made them.
When the interior framing was removed from the windows, a striking fragment or bit box panel was revealed at the base of the Ascension window. This hidden panel was not original and was likely added after later remodelling. Made from fragments of glass and rejects from other windows, this kaleidoscope of colour had not been seen for many years. Details within the glass suggest it was produced by Hardam & Co., a local Birmingham-based studio who are known to have worked on the windows in the 19th century. Continuing this tradition, Holywell also provided their own bitbox panels, leaving a lasting reminder of the conservation project. A core part of the Divine Beauty project involved inviting the people of Birmingham into the cathedral to see the conservation work taking place. Over the course of 5 months, more than 3,400 members of the public were given scaffolding tours for a close-up view of the conservation process.
It's important to us that the general public sees what's going on here for these world-famous windows. And throughout that time, since the scaffolding has been up, we've been doing tours looking at what's going on and trying to set some context in terms of why the windows are here, what makes them so important, and what we're actually doing. People have really enjoyed being able to get up really close to the windows. The William Morris prints, for instance, have caused some laughter and some amusement because you say, come look at our windows, and you can choose your sofa and your curtain patterns at the same time. So a wonderful piece of entrepreneurialism by William Morris, which, because he would never miss a chance to do that, would he?
I thought the tour was magnificent. The colours were the most striking thing. I think people forget about the beauty of these buildings, and it's important to respect the craftsmanship and the artistic work that went in. And I think that's always something that the city needs to be proud of. That's really the important part of having restoration works like this.
I've been really pleased with the reception that people have given the windows, the cross-section of people that have come. There is something to be really proud of here and something that they want to see again, which of course is the most important thing for us, is that people will come back and say, I saw them when they were being cleaned and restored, look at them now.
The Divine Beauty project wasn't just a process of glass conservation. The exterior of the windows and the surrounding stonework had also suffered over the years. Extensive cleaning of the stone was required, and some parts of the masonry had to be removed and replaced entirely. With the outside works completed and the windows fully cleaned and conserved, in November 2023, it was time to put the windows back in their rightful place. This was a delicate and intricate process, requiring precision and care.
It can be a little bit stressful when you're carrying stained glass up a scaffold, always making sure you have a secure hold on them. They're also quite heavy, especially these ones have a lot of lead and quite thick glass. The panels are going into an overall metal frame. Each panel has its own space. We will take any notches out of the lead perimeter to accommodate the metal frame and make sure that they line up properly with the panels above and below them. We've dry fitted the windows perfectly, and we're now just starting to putty them in place. So we put some putty into the frame before we put the panel in, which kind of seals the outside edge. And then once it's in place, we also then dress down the outer perimeter with more putty. So it's completely weatherproof. Once you see them with the light shining behind them again, it is really satisfying. That's the best bit.
It's the most rewarding part of the job, actually, coming back and seeing them back in situ in their rightful place. It's a really nice part of the project that you feel you're leaving your mark and preserving these amazing windows for future generations. Hopefully giving that bit back to this wonderful cathedral and the local community.
I think there's one word that you could say about the windows, and that's just wow. The difference and the colours and the brightness and the vividness is just breathtaking. It's a huge privilege to work in this building and have these beautiful windows to look at every day.
It's been one of the hugest privileges of my role at the cathedral to be part of the team who consider ourselves custodians for a generation. So having invested the time and the money and the effort now so that these internationally acclaimed works of art are still here in generations to come. That's absolutely, for me, the kind of standout legacy. Seeing people explore those windows almost with a fresh pair of eyes and seeing more detail, more intricacies, I've really enjoyed that.
These great works have stood gleaming in the heart of the city for more than a century. With conservation works like the Divine Beauty Project, we're ensuring that they'll be here for the people of Birmingham to visit, enjoy and reflect upon for generations to come. To find out more about the Divine Beauty Project and the conservation process, please visit our website.